Hello everybody. And this is one of my blue jelly shrimp tanks, and this tank is due to be reset, and that's what we're going to do here today. Look at all this moss. This tank did have a little bit of an algae problem in it, but I think there's a little bit right there, but not too bad. I think there's quite a few shrimp in here, but when my tanks get like this, I honestly don't know. I've seen quite a few shrimp in here. So the plan with these shrimp in here is I'm going to pull them all out, sort them. The bad ones will go into my mixing reds and blue jelly tank. And then about 3/4 of them are going to go in another 20-gallon tank. A tank that I like to sell out of. I don't like to sell shrimp out of this tank because it's super hard to get at. Oh, we're going to have a helper today. This is Meow Meow, the ditch kitty I had from years ago. So the first thing I'm going to do, we got duckweed issues in here. So we're going to take out the duckweed. We're going to be using the handy dandy shop vac, one of my favorite tools in the fish room, shrimp room, whatever you want to call it. This is my favorite way to get rid of duckweed. Check this out. So we got most of the duckweed out. There's still a few bits in there, but we'll get that later. The first thing I'm going to do is pick out the moss with algae. That'll be the first thing we do. Then we'll pull out all the moss, trying not to get any shrimp. Then we'll see what's next. And before we start catching the shrimp, I went ahead and got their temporary home set up. 5-gallon bucket with one of my cheap air stones running. USB powered air stones. And this is how I get all the shrimpies to gather up. I put out a couple algae wafers after I stripped most of the moss out. And you can watch them all gather up now. This tank is the hardest tank I got to get good video of, with the glare and the very, very limited space I talk about here in a little bit. But you can see there's a good amount of shrimp in here, and they all look pretty good and happy and healthy. And so here we are. This is what we ended up with. A lot of good shrimp in here. Tank needed a reset for sure. It's still pretty good, but I've seen lots and lots better than this. So I'm going to end up catching probably most of them out and putting them in the 20-gallon high, and then let the rest of them repopulate in here. That's the plan. So we've got lots of blue jellies in here. Most of them, the ones that I could manage to catch. But we still got our fair share of tricksters that go above and beyond the means of not getting caught. So, and then as you can see, the limited space, if I have to do anything other than a water change in this tank or catch a few shrimp out, I have to drain it down to like an inch of water, so that we're almost there. Python, and then slide it out a bit. Yeah. This is how you have, when you have 10 20-gallon tanks and 8 40-gallon tanks in a 12-foot by 4-foot closet. This is how you end up doing it. Alright. I'll let that get down just a little bit more. And I can pull the filter and break out and pull the tank out, and then we can catch these guys that are being difficult. Okay, so we got it pulled out. And oh my god, it scared the crap out of me. I pulled that brick out. Mr. Pucko's in here. And there's still probably over 100 shrimp in here that are going to be a pain in the butt to catch. But this is the hardest part of this whole process. And you can see how that's just like mud right there, and that's with this fine sand that ends up causing problems. Yeah, we got her shot clean pretty good, I'd say. We got a little bit of algae crap growing on that back glass. I'll probably give that a little scrape. Then I'll rinse some new sand, clean the filters, and we'll start setting her back up again. So the sponge filter's been maintenance. The brick is put back in. I'm doing a rock pile with moss, so all the moss will grow up through the rocks. I think that'll look cool. And now we're going to add some black sand. And that's what we're going to do next. And here she is, being filled with water for the first time. So with my blue jellies on my website, markshallaquatics.com, I've sold out of my 40-gallon right here, and I need to give this tank 2 or 3 months of not being sold out of to let it build back up. So in the meantime, that tank we just reset, this is probably 2/3 or more of the shrimp that we pulled out of that tank. And now we're going to put them all in this tank where it's easy to catch them to sell on the website. All right. Fun. All the moss mass from catching them and scraping the bottom of the tank. That's all right. So this will keep the website in stock for a little bit. Now let's get the ones that are left and get them in the tank. Start that tank over again. Okay, so here's the group we're restarting this blue jelly tank with. Come on, little shrimpies. Gotta get all the snail shells in your new tank. That's alright. So, we got a decent amount of good shrimp in here. Now, they accidentally hurt one catching them all those times, it looked like. But, I guess, when you're dealing with that many shrimp, losing one isn't too bad. Alright. But check, there's more. This is the new outside pond I got going again. There are a handful of blue jelly shrimp left in that nastiness. I'm going to dump it in here. It'll help cycle it, and maybe, just maybe, come fall, we'll find a whole bunch of blue jellies in here. Let's see what happens. So you can see any shrimp actually go in. There's one. Yeah, I think I saw another one. Yeah, maybe a couple went in there. We'll see. So this is the tank where the ones that are getting sold went. Everyone looks pretty happy. I don't see any distress. This tank was struggling, then I reset it, and I've already got buried ones and new babies, and so this tank is doing really good, and it just tripled its population. And this is the tank we've been working on. There's still a lot of shrimp in there to get this thing going again. So this may not have been a super exciting one, but this is an essential part of what I do and how I keep Mark Shelley Aquatics running. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.